So he is the go between the subconscious to the conscious one. So he will be given orders or will be told what to do from the subgroup. So he is the go between the subconscious to the conscious one. So he will be given orders or will be told what to do from the subgroup. And then we'll go and deal with they have structured 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 15 year and 30-year plan. That they follow, and he sort of puts that together. I suppose you sort of could call him maybe sort of maybe like an archetypical Luciferian sort of character. That's sort of the nomination.
Okay, you could
Underground bases, sure. And the underground world, an entire world. It's hollow little dark.
Okay, what is there?
That is all the financial needs of the entire planet are done in the CLC world. I mean, there's also all sorts of military training and the military ops training programs that go on there as well. But primarily the money moves are done there.
Mm-hmm. And Pindar, physically, is a human being or something else?
He can be like anything he wants to be.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, anything.
Mm-hmm.
Because he has, so to be able to do that, you'd have to have a complete understanding of DNA codes. And once you do understand how DNA codes lock and unlock, it's not actually that difficult to do that. So we
in 3D?
Yes. If you want, I don't understand how to do it, but if you do, once you do, you can. You could be anything. You could be any object.
Uh-huh. Do you know the name Elena Kapulnik?
Not too well, but I've heard it. Yeah.
She's a super soldier, and she met her astral body. She contacted Queen Elizabeth, and the Queen told her that she's 7,000 years old reptilian.
Right.
How would you comment that?
Yeah, no, I would probably agree with that. I don't know the specifics like you said, but I mean I wouldn't doubt that. And body jumping from body to body when the body wears out, jumping to the next body through eye transfer. So they'll take the point of death of the person. They'll draw the energy from the eyes at that, and then so take the soul. The soul comes out through the eyes, and then you can go also in through the eyes
of a child.
Yes.
And replace the
switch
soul.
it up. Yeah, and keep that one. Yeah. Yeah. The awareness level also stays. The awareness level stays. So she would not lose her memories like we do. When we go through our cycle, we have amnesia.
So she remembers everything.
Yes.
From 7,000 years.
Yes. Yes. Full memory. Yeah. Yeah.
And some aside question. In some interviews, you look like you are kind of bored, that you sit and just look like, I don't know, kind of sleeping, bored.
Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know. I think you asked me that earlier. I don't know. I think sometimes some certain topics probably put me into a state of mind that throw me off balance, and because all of this stuff is extremely sensitive, and that's the best time you're going to get from me with that one.
Okay. In Rothschild family, it's a huge family. They have internal fighting. Some super soldiers were used as assassins to get rid of some members of the family. Do you know something about that?
Yeah. Don't want to talk too much about Michael, but that's his story. I think I want to leave that one alone, and and it's available to go and have a look at. I'd rather, I feel for him, and I forgive him, and I'd like to know where he is and what's going on and if he's all right. But I don't want to touch his story at all because
okay.
Yeah.
Chemtrails.
Yeah.
Why are they spread?
Yeah. Okay. So I think in the same, principally the same, for the same reasons. So I think in the same, hairspray and with deodorant and with creams and all of those things as to dumb down, to make subservient, to add heavy metals to the body, to generally make the population more subservient. So it's just an extra arm of that field.
It's a part of the quiet war.
Yeah, right. Silent weapons for a quiet war. Yeah. It's just we all know about it now. I mean, we've been conditioned so much that that even I saw the Disney movie. Some Disney movies they even have in the sky. They have chemtrails in the sky of the Disney movies. So they're conditioning the children to accept that. When 20 years ago we never ever saw anything like that. So it's so well conditioning. Disney being one of the primary child recruiting and MK centers on the planet.
Also, to prevent the sunlight to reach people in enough to enough level so that the consciousness of humanity would raise, because the sunlight
Right. So the sunlight
beneficial.
raises your energy. Absolutely. So they would, when it's a nice day outside, you know, and the chemtrails block it off. It takes the life-giving energy away from us.
Mm-hmm.
And so all the propaganda lies on the television about stay out of the sun are just that propaganda, because the sun gives you incredible healing energy.
The sun does not cause cancer. Only the sun lotions cause
There you go.
cancer.
Right. There you go. There you go.
And also they spread nanotechnology
Mm-hmm.
in those.
Right. It just kind of rains down, right? Yeah.
Underground sub shuttle.
Yeah.
Have you traveled?
Okay.
Actually, what is the sub shuttle?
Okay. I have an understanding of it because I was given all the information, or told all the information about it. But it is electromagnetic rail system that is dug all through the core of the Earth, and reaches speeds of like 3,000-4,000 miles an hour through magnetic pull.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go. So you could essentially do New York to London in an hour to do what you need to do, and it's all the bases are connected. There's Australia. There are so many bases in Australia. People don't think about that and don't talk about it very much. Also, you know, what's the slang term for Australia? Is Oz. Well, Oz is slang for Osiris too. So it's male energy there. There's something to do with the ritual, the Isis, Osiris, and Horus ritual, and Australia is representing Osiris.
And Oz, like the magician from the story.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course. Well, look at the Wizard of Oz. Is the Wizard Osiris.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And sub shuttle is the stations for going on the sub shuttles. The sub shuttle are usually under Hilton Hotel.
Hilton is completely in sync with with them. Yeah, Hilton's run with them and work with them. Certain rooms in certain Hiltons, guests go in and then they will go into an astral state in that room, and they will have a meeting in 4D in these certain rooms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
After our first interview, some people said that why didn't I ask you to move some objects?
Right.
Because you said that you were teaching that boy to move objects. So explain why.
Right. Okay. So most of the training is done in 4D. Most of the organization and most of the planning and all of that is done in 4D. In 4D is a much more fluid frequency. It's not dense and heavy like this. It doesn't mean that I probably couldn't if I was in a certain state. But as it stands, I'm in a front altar. This person here can't do that like that. In 4D, I can because I did. So we're understanding that 3D is much denser, and so that's why.
So for 3D, you need like.
I would still say it's possible to do it though. Like, you need a jolt of energy, pretty powerful jolt of energy. But I think I had the potential to be able to do it. Objects fall down. I've had objects. Things crack. Glasses crack. Things fall off windowsills, things like this. When my energy is spiked, if I'm agitated, it's just generally the more agitated I get, things start falling.
Mm-hmm. The topic of addictions of the reptilians, like humans have some addictions like alcohol, drugs, sugar, this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Reptilians have different
addicted to fear.
Addictions, yeah.
Right.
Addiction to torture, to this energy. So please explain.
Okay, so putting a human being into a low vibrational state by creating a circumstance in their life that puts them into a depressive state, would then give off an energy that they like, because they like the sadness, fear, trauma, and especially tears. So somebody, with their head in their hands crying, is the energy is called Loosh, Loosh, and it's very, very high-powered energy. So for them, very, very, very. So they would somehow um, somehow calculate an event, even in dreams. I mean, I've had dreams where I've been crying in a dream, and I know that the 4D it's been mixed and done so that would happen. So they're addicted to doing that. They're also addicted to the adrenal chrome, which is in the blood. Which, when you bring a human being to the highest state of fear that it can be in, the most extreme state of fear, chemical is run through the body called adrenal chrome. And if it's not a nice topic, but if the blood is then got from them at that point, that chemical adrenal chrome is inside the blood.
Yes.
So you take that, and if that is consumed, the high from the adrenal chrome is the highest high that you can get.
So
that's sold on the black market. It's that Satanists sell it.
So that's why they do those rituals.
Yes. Well, that's one of the reasons. Yeah.
Similar topic. Children in cages underground.
Mm-hmm.
What did you see?
Okay, so I've just seen vats of children. Vats of children in disassociated states. Some crying, some not. Some gone, just gone completely. But they use this food source. They use this to test things out on and use as a food source. That's what, yeah.
Cannibalism? For meat?
Yes. Yeah. And also emotion. Okay, so we got the fear energy, and the fear of a child is even more pure energy.
Yes.
More powerful energy. So to get that from a child children is the thing for them.
And this is in Dulce.
Dulce? Yeah, one of many. Yeah.
Who runs Dulce? Because there was a battle in the 60s and humans lost.
The humans did lose. Yeah, they did. Who runs Dulce now? That's a very good question. I don't know. I know who did. I know the name of somebody who did.
But
there was an MI6. The guy who did run. But this is not open information. This is like hidden information. So a man named Alfred Bonner, who ran from underground MI6, was known as Original Fred at Dulce, and for a time ran Dulce. Now that was 90s, 80s. So now I don't know.
And another base
with the scar on his face here. Which denotes German aristocracy. I mean, they have the scar down the side of their face, right? Like Mengele has. There's another name. It just came to me. I'll come back.
Los Alamos.
Yeah, Los Alamos is I think Los Alamos is bigger than Dulce now. I think it's probably one of the biggest bases.
And those children, are they kidnapped from?
Yeah, I mean, they're also bred. They also have breeders. They'll have female breeders down
also
there.
Slaves.
Yeah, who just are constantly breeding children for them. thousands of them. And then you've got the ones that are in the foster homes and care homes who no one really cares about. And how many street children are there? Thousands of street children. The main human trafficking, or the main child trafficking center on this planet is Rio de Janeiro. That's where they get the most children from. They bring them up through to the US, the UK.
And related topic is Vatican underground.
Yeah.
What happens? This kind of magic. Also with children.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, so going back to the point of understanding that they're using children for everything because it's the purest and most powerful energy. So that's their thing. I think that the Vatican principle is run on it's a vampiric consciousness, parasitic vampiric consciousness, and we don't ever. I mean, the Pope is a figurehead, and nothing else,
You mean the white Pope, because there is also the black Pope.
Absolutely, yes. I don't think either of them are. The one, if you see them on television, they're not in. They don't have any power.
Yes.
Okay, because they don't need to have real power. You would be unseen. Okay, so the Vatican, in terms of the Vatican, I mean, every time I look at any of the rituals that they do in the Vatican, it's just so clearly a satanic ritual. It's unbelievable. They say Satanus in the invocations when they're doing it. I don't understand why people have seen that. I think there's like a spell or something done, thrown over the masses, so they literally just don't hear, just don't see these things.
They are in a certain state of mind.
Yes, yeah. They're where they're just unable. It's impossible for them to be able to see it because it's so glaringly obvious to me. I wonder why others can't see it.
There is a short film on YouTube showing that showing that
represents the O, okay? The negative feminine. Okay, so this is that. Represents the O, okay? Okay, so this is that.
And during
and also emotion. Okay, so we got the mood. They bring them up through to emotion. They bring them up through to right. You mean how would I explain why they would do that ritual? The reasoning they give?
Yes.
The reasoning they give is because they explain that
Jesus gave away himself.
Yes. So if you consume, metaphorically consume him, then you become more like him. Right? When in fact, they're just getting you to participate in the cannibalistic bloodletting ritual. Which is very, very powerful indeed.
And reinforcing
It's reinforcing programming. It's a very powerful ritual when you do that. When you drink that for that and you eat, it's very powerful. That's why, very powerful.
The moon. What is the moon?
What is the moon? What is the moon? It's not a natural object. It's an unnatural object. I think that it was part of, maybe a part of something else, and it was then moved into this specific spot now to be used for a number of different reasons, right? As an amplification system through Saturn, which we can talk about.
Mm-hmm.
I believe I think there's multiple bases on the moon. There's multiple Nazi bases on the moon. There's multiple Draco bases on the moon. They seem to be able to get on. The Fourth Reich and the Dracos to some extent. They seem to be able to get on to some extent. There's the soul catching machine, which is which is on the moon, and then the amnesia. So you go through the machine. I sort of have a weird sort of feeling of remembering it, and remembering the feeling of it, and not wanting to pull away. I remember being killed before. So, but you don't get a full life review. You're supposed. Everything is wrong with this whole system setup. You're supposed to have a life review. You're supposed to look, if you were doing this this way, look at what you've done. Look at it. There's no bad or good. There's no judgment. There's no judgment. Like, look what you did here. Now you're banished to here or banished to there, because we're all here trying to learn and understand. So then you have a full life review. Then you come back and choose your body, choose what your higher self then chooses what conditions you come back and choose your body, choose what your higher self chooses. So they set up a system, a technological system, where they'll throw us through a machine when you die, that then stores the soul, erases the memory completely, and then throws you back into basically the same situation you just came from again, with the same people, just with different clothes and different. You move in circles with the same people.
How does this machine work exactly? Do you know?
No, I don't know I don't know the technology of it.
So it's kind of automatic, computerized technology.
Yeah, but I mean, highly advanced, highly
And
advanced.
it
Obviously,
catches all the souls.
Yeah, all of them. Yeah,
but some souls are pretty much advanced and
can bypass and leave.
And they can progress in the next life.
Mm-hmm.
So it means that this doesn't work perfectly.
Well, nothing they do works perfectly. That's business, but that's why they're losing control now.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of there's volunteer consciousness down here at the moment, and I would class myself and yourself as volunteer consciousness. Specifically came down here to try and change the paradigm, to try and get this information out, so that we can not have to be living like this, and not having to repeat the same cycles over and over and over again. Because they want to stay here. They don't want to go anywhere else. This consciousness wants to stay here, stay in this body, never get older, and continually experience the highest of high experiences, and go on. And I think that they have to have continued war. So there has to be war, rest, war, rest.
1,000 years after that.
Right. So because the war keeps the duality alive. Mm-hmm. Without war, the duality would singularize, because war is against odds, right? One against the other. That maintains duality. Mm-hmm. The war is so important.
Okay, do you know the technology of incarnating, like we decide, who decides if for example, I want to go into this body with these parents, I decide, or something else decides?
Well, that's I think it's kind of a hard question, because in the biggest of pictures, it's all your choice.
So it means that somehow I have my free will.
You do have on the big picture, but not here though.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
When you're here, it's pretty scripted down here.
Yeah, because recently in the last interview you said that we don't have the free will. But
we do and we don't though.
You meant here.
Yeah, yeah.
When you go to the higher level, you have free will.
Because you're omnipotent, you're everything. Yes. Yeah, so absolutely you do. But when you're contained in 3D physical body like this, you don't. You have the illusion of free will.
Mm-hmm. Makes people behave in a different way.
Yeah,
so how does it happen that the distance between Earth and Moon is the same? And just because there's more sun on the Moon, the influence of the Moon on Earth is different. So how physically it
Because okay, but the moon is emotion. It represents emotion. Okay, so when it's full, that means the light of the moon, because the sun's hitting the moon, so the light of the moon is hitting you're seeing it brighter. So its effects on the planet are going to be more intense. They just are going to be. And if it's emotions, it's going to increase and heighten up the emotions on every human being on the planet.
Whatever emotions.
Whatever, yes, either way. I think whatever stage you're at, if you're on a high, it increases more. And also, each moon is astrologically is going to give a different effect as well. So an Aries full moon is going to be a different effect to a Scorpio full moon or a Capricorn full moon.
And Saturn, how is Saturn related to the moon? You mentioned earlier that they are.
Yeah, so we were talking about the transits, the 29.5 year, 29.5 year transit of Saturn around the Sun, the 29.5 day transit of the
around Earth.
Okay, so they're working. We're seeing they're working in unison there with numerology. Saturn used to be the life-giving sun, of course, of this.
June 3rd, 2013. The notes of this author of the website. Alien beings, the US Army tried to keep them at bay. The notes continue. After this set, as Matt Spire's interview in the background is playing.
Planet, and some people do call it the black sun. Actually, I have heard that.
The demons are loose, more than ever, because of CERN in Switzerland. But this is nothing new, they've always been there. Don't get misguided. They're using humans, soul catching, human resources, mind, the body, the soul, the advancement in technology, portals, shape-shifting demonic entities to attack the human body, to drain their energy. They're using the portal, as you heard Max say, they going through your eyes, these soul catchers. They're damaging my eyes at the moment for 2 days in a row. They're desperate for souls. This is a website on this document to learn more about military adoptions. It's not aliens, it's maps, poor projects, underground dumps. It's going on for a long time. It's nothing new. The advancement in technology is in such a way that the ordinary individual may not be aware of. It's up to the researcher to get the information offline as well, save it and store it in case Internet of Things goes and changes. There's the author, individual, quoted this document.
It was a very beautiful, life-giving planet, and this consciousness that has taken over, whatever name you want to give it. I find it difficult to put a name on it. It's a parasitic consciousness, right? So it took over Saturn somehow, and Saturn has the highest and lowest of frequencies of all the planets. So it can have the highest frequency, or it can have the densest, lowest, most difficult frequency. They bound it with a ring, that energy ring around it, so that, and then they trapped the lowest frequencies that it could possibly have, pushed the energy through to, there's some form of amplification system on the moon. So and then those frequencies are then amplified to the Earth
And focused.
like this, focus down and create the false reality that's here.
Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of Saturn symbology in business.
It's everywhere. It's a Saturn cult. It's Saturn is you'll see the ring, even the tick on Nike shoes.
Yeah.
That's
Google Chrome.
It's everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So because they worship it, because it's maintaining the false reality that's here.
Mm-hmm.
If there was a way to break the ring, I wonder what would happen. if we could break the, if we could unbind Saturn, or if it could heal itself, because at the moment it's not healed. It's sick, right?
Yes.
As a planet.
Yes.
If Saturn could heal, the Earth would heal.
Hmm. And one of the symbols of Saturn is the cube.
Sure. Because of the hexagon on top of it. Because the hexagon is
On top of the Saturn, on the north pole of Saturn.
Yes.
Okay, and the cube also symbolizes artificial intelligence.
Yes.
Because you have a binary system, so it's computerized.
Yes.
And you have 2 times 2 times 2.
Yes.
And the cube is to the third.
Cubed.
Cube.
Right. Yeah.
So it's one of the. It's related to one of the symbols of Freemasonry, where they have this 90-degree angle. You know the symbol.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, the set square.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's why in a lot of rituals, a lot of the OTO rituals, when they the Ordo Templis Orientis rituals, you have to stand with your feet at 90 degrees as well.
And also 90 degrees means that it is fixed, like Ordnung.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
You have to obey your boss.
Yes, there you go. Yeah. Yes.
And Dr. Mengele.
Yeah, that's the subject.
Who is this guy, and what do you remember? Actually, we know who he was during the war. Then he escaped to the United States and continued.
Yes. I'm not kidding you. I can see his face when I close my eyes. I can see his face now. He was mainly known for doing twinning experiments, doing experiments on twins to see and pleasure and doing pleasure pain reversal. So pleasure means pain, pain means pleasure. He is one of the most evil. I mean, we're up there. One of the most evil of them all. I mean, it's pretty hard to gauge when you're doing it when they're all sort of like in on it anyway. But I have for me now. I remember disassociating so many times when I would see him, that because that's him. I suppose that's him programming other altars. I have one or two memories of which are vile. I don't really want to talk about them too much. Don't really want to repeat them again. But I know I can tell you that he's still alive. I can tell you he's still doing the work that he was doing, and continues at a very, very high level at the NSA, and maintains his age at about 60, 55, 60, something like that, with the age reduction technology they've got.
And you said he programmed some of your altars.
Yes.
And altars are also kind of cubed. A few minutes ago we said
more
about
like a honeycomb.
Cubed.
Yeah, honeycomb. So so once you if you traumatize a human being to they know exactly the levels to do it at, then the brain creates an amnesiac barrier around it, and then you are then if you're taught, you're then able to go inside there and then program a new person to do anything, to do absolutely anything, and then you can bring them back to their original state. And the other altar is not aware of any way of the other altar. So I think there are a great number of them that can be done.
Stuart Sverdlov wrote a book, 13 cubed.
That's right. That's right. So I think that would be something like 6,000.
2,900 something.
2,000. Okay, right. Okay. There you go. That's a lot. Yeah, it's that they started using that because for spies and assassins, because you can't torture somebody out of information that they don't know because it's not in that altar.
So it means that someone is like a businessman, goes to a country, then they trigger him to switch to another altar.
It can be completely different. Yeah.
Then he performs some task.
Yeah.
Then they switch him back.
They often have most have front lives. The front lives. Okay, so a regular sort of normal front life, and then they do the other things. But they may not even be aware that they're doing them. Mm-hmm. I think some are, some aren't.
Mm-hmm. Do you know any of the triggers they use on you? To switch?
Not really. I mean, I know a couple of words, but it's of no benefit. Mm-hmm. Yeah. To do it, it has to be done with sound, usually sound, hand movement, and a word. So it's I've seen this one with a word, which then breaks into another altar. I've seen Britney Spears triggered like that, and a number, Joaquin Phoenix triggered like that too. It's very sad.
Most of the singers are
all. Yeah.
So they were trained since they were small.
Yes, because they got Project Looking Glass, so they know what. They're breeding children for positions. So that when they're breeding them, they already know where they want to put them before they're born, and what they're going to do with them.
So they choose also the soul.
Yeah.
Proper soul.
Yes.
For the task.
Yes. Exactly.
And they design the body.
There's that. There's okay. Well, so with the German, the Fourth Reich projects, when they were taking DNA from different pieces of here, pieces of there, mixing to make the Uberman for the Uberman project, and then so then that draws the soul from whatever frequency in. We have if you took some DNA from Osiris and you took DNA from something else and something else put it together, you'd be pulling down a very.
Stop that for a moment. The reptilian shape-shifting demons are something you may want to investigate in. The military MyLabs, underground bases worldwide. This is the one at times. If they can do the soul catching and you're just hearing of the late Matt Spires, and you're seeing just an abstract evidence of just one individual, there's thousands around the world. So why do you think they're doing what they're doing to me and thousands of people around the world? I gotta keep a diary offline. Important. Do you think the home invasion's going through my personal belongings yesterday? You see, these entities and being taken over, human souls, and possessed. The technologies, wow, it's beyond unless you research it. You wouldn't even believe it exists. So that's very important information. I've got recording evidence of certain things I won't go into right now. Why do you think there was movies called Body Catchers years ago? Well, I don't know years ago that is now, but all these these movies and TV shows is hinting at what they're doing. This is a spiritual battle, extremely. So, back to the 4-8 dice underground base. Now let's see if I can search for that. This is where you can go and watch for your own discernment. In the meantime, let's do a search for the hacking my computer again. It's no surprise. Right. Let's see who else could be covering this in the past or recent. Might not spot it right. DULCE. Let's add some words to this. Mexico. Dead the Unsolved. The latest of the Dead the Unsolved. Without it's nothing, as I said. Correction. It can get misleading of aliens. There's always a deception. These are entities, non-human entities. And always be careful about deception. Yeah, there's a lot of disinformation so long by so many agents out there. And you've got the doll space, somebody's done a book. It's not just about Area 51, by the way. I know a lot of other subjects, not just on this one. The demons are unleashed. I can't tell you what's going on outside my window on my street side, because I set what they want me to. And I'm not going to play my hands. It's not just about underground, it's above ground too. In my opinion, get spiritually ready if you're not already in that regard. If you don't know about genetics and I won't go into that right now. A whistleblower found dead. The Department of Homeland Security was found. Don't know what he was whistleblowing about. That's what they usually do. This is on careful. I do not say specifics. It's up to the individual to research for themselves. Educate yourself is a good resource of information to start on the website. So I thought I might just see if there is, first of all, let's go back. If you want to have a nose, reptilians, there's different, as I said, entities out there. Okay, that won't open. We'll go back. These are external links you might want to investigate. Okay, so you can see some pages they don't want you to have a look at. Might be better off in different areas. Just here. As you can see, I get a lot of hacking. There you go, constant hacking. This is what they do. Don't want me, you know, you just share information. As you can hear now, all devices are being hacked into in the background. Now, whatever you think of David Icke, just pick up a pinch of salt about the manipulation of alien reptilians exposed. You see? It's blocking, my server's blocking this. Reptilians-exposed.com. See? See? My server is being monitored. So this is where you can go into the Nazi mind control, which I've already done. You've got Instagram photographs. Be aware of all this. Some it can be false. While we jump on social media, people post images. Technology can appear, just be careful about there's Instagram, reptilian wizards. Just be careful about disinformation agents out there. We'll just cover and see if that comes up. And no, it's not conspiracy theory. We're looking at facts. Right, this is one of the part 1 of 4, James Bartley as well. If it comes up. I know you're better to find this on YouTube, but and there's a website out there. I've got in a playlist about James Bartley. Might let this play, who knows. Yeah, I've seen this already myself. And as you can just see, it's dated 9th of April 2009. So we'll just get out of that. Go back up. I won't go into that. Let's go back, finish the audio.
High vibrational soul into the body, and that's what they do. That's how they do
it. Nibiru, the topic of Nibiru. As I know, in the reptilian psychology, it is this way that if there is the reptilian king, his children, the intent of his children is to overthrow him and become kings.
Yeah.
So in the ancient times,
He would eat their children.
Also, but also the children were sent to some part of the planet to perform some tasks to make them busy, just to prevent them
from taking over. Right.
And also the children were specialized in some topics. That's why we have in the Greek and Roman mythology those gods of specific, special gods. Like this god is for performing art, this god is for this one. So the children of some god were trained to do something so that they wouldn't kill their father. And the topic of Nibiru is, as far as I know, is also related to that, because the king of Nibiru, he was afraid of his sons, so he sent them to Earth to make them busy.
Right.
Here.
Okay, so we're talking about Enki and Enlil. Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
What do you know about those two guys, and what is actually Nibiru?
It's a ship.
The earth will be set free. But this is a different language. He ended up dying, Max, in Poland. This is also in different language. Masonic, this is like a Polish podcast web site. Not sure what language, if it is Polish or English. That's the Freemason hand sign. Be careful about disinfo. That there.
Wywiad przeprowadzam w tym temacie.
Right, won't do that. Right. Now, if you want to learn more, the last interview with Matt Spies was here. I won't play it yet. I'll finish out with this one.
Spaceship.
Yeah.
It was close to Saturn in 2012.
Right. That's 12,000 year cycles.
Also not cycle, because it can jump through a portal to another galaxy.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah. So the cycles are not important.
Right. Well, and then just in time, it takes 12,000 years for it to come back again. But wherever it goes, it comes around in 12,000 years. Okay, so Enki and Enlil. Enki was for Enki and Enlil. Enki was for and Enlil was still wanted to use them as slaves. So now. This is all debatable and all up for, it's what anyone thinks.
Mm-hmm.
So this is I'm telling you how I feel about it. So Enlil was still wanting to use human beings as slaves to get the monoatomic gold. All the gold's gone now. But I know that they're here now. I know that those two.
Yeah, Simon Parks also says that they're now
both here.
on
Yeah.
Earth.
Oh yeah, they definitely are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think
in body.
in physical bodies, no doubt about it, and animals as well.
So, what do they do? What do you think?
What do they do?
Are they somewhere in the?
They do all their work in 4D. Okay, they could live a totally boring, humdrum, normal life, doing nothing here, but on a 4D level is where they do all their stuff. And they would not be seen. They would not be. They would not be they would not be a musician or an actor or anything like that. They would be a television personality, you know, because there's much more power in being unseen.
Precision magic. You know, some guy who draws comics.
Yes. Yeah.
How does he do that, and what?
Precision magic is it's very interesting, and can be used. I think magic in general is its intent. Magic is neutral, until intent is put to it. No, let me think. I've forgotten his name now. Let me think of his name. But anyway, the principles of it is if you can design any drawing or any painting or any symbol that is put onto paper, then created and then given a charge, you can then turn that into a physical reality. You can turn that into a 3D physical reality. So you charge it through. I don't know the exact science of how it works, but I just know that you are with section. If you charge the sigil or
the sigil is simple.
Yeah, exactly. It's simple. If you charge it with sexual energy, then you're going to charge it with creative force energy, and you can bring that into 3D. You can manifest, and you can pretty much manifest anything into 3D with sex magic. That's their main thing.
So it means also that they can charge some kind of a symbol with intent and energy, and then they can publish that.
Yeah. Yes.
And it makes.
Something. Yeah. Okay. So the intent is obviously critical to the whole thing. I nearly had his name. Yeah, he does the X-Men comics. He writes a lot of the X-Men comics. He put himself into the comic books that he was writing, and then started to find out that he would write himself into this comic, and then what the comic he'd create, but then it would happen in his real life. So
so he created his life
through yes, and turned himself into a character that he wanted to be through that, and
So if he could do that for himself, it means that Hollywood can influence, and it's of course created to influence millions and billions of people.
That's the main thing. Yeah, that's the thing. Hollywood is the biggest.
According to Google Books,
illusion,
Your Journey into God's Heart for Good Governance, Christian.
Of them all, and you have there are good forces working within, trying to counteract the negative ones. So what you'll have happen is you'll have a movie.
I found these results.
Which will be swaying the consciousness in one direction. Then you'll have an alternative film studio put a movie out, which will try and sway the consciousness in the other direction to make sure that so it doesn't go wrong. So you'll and they interchange characters as archetypes. They may use Matt Damon as a Christ archetype as one point, or a Luciferian archetype as another time. Switch it up to keep confusing.
The demon itself is operating at higher levels.
Schwarzenegger,
right?
The second part
Levels,
is a good guy.
Right, but I'm talking about archetypes rather than specific
that are
characters.
preying upon the public. upon the people,
Okay.
on the
Film
people,
Matrix.
myself. It's not even.
What is
Two.
real?
I use the syllabus and teaching by Dr. Lester
I think you
Summerall.
can pretty much
Class
go
that
to that movie and find a lot of the
on them.
answers in there.
That's just
I
the
think there's
beginning.
a lot of answers in
Please
there.
plead the blood of
I think
Jesus
that
on your
when that movie
families
came out in 1999,
and keep your
it
eyes
was a big
on
shift.
the Lord.
It
Because it is
was
going to be,
around there was a huge
guys, this is just
solar
the
eclipse in
beginning of the
August of
sorrows. We are in
1999,
Revelation chapter 24.
and
This
that's around the time when the Matrix came out, and there was a massive jump in consciousness, human consciousness, and that movie had something big to do with it because it impacted the world and gave people an understanding of a better understanding. Even if they didn't believe, okay, that is that, it at least gave them the opportunity to muse over it,
In Matrix, there is a moment when this Agent Smith interrogates Neo,
Yeah.
and for half of a second, they show the driver's license of Neo.
Yes, it says 9/11 on there.
Yeah, 9/11. The validity of the license is till 9/11/2001.
Right. Tells you the date of the Twin Tower. I've got about 10 movies where it shows you Back to the Future as a whole of 9/11 symbolism, because they can't do things like, remember, they can't create. These beings can't create. They don't have creative energy force. They don't have it. They have to take others and then do it that way. So they have to. That's called predictive programming. So they're putting these in there to slowly condition the mind to accept the fact that the towers were going to fall, and then they did. You couldn't just do it. They have to get us to do it. They essentially had to make us make the towers fall, because they can't do that.
Can they go to this heart chakra? Actually, do the reptilians have chakras and different?
I don't know the chakra system with them. I don't know. I don't. They see most of the attributes of the heart chakra as weaknesses, though, and vulnerabilities. So they would. I would
They
think.
perceive us as weak because we have emotions
Yes.
and different states.
Yes, and they also perceive us as weak because we have to change form and change our body as we go through the years. They don't. They've had the same physical form through millions of years. And they think that we're weaker because of that. This current war, and I've noticed like a really, really big anti-God movement at the moment. Like it's coming on really, really, really strongly. They're pushing internal self. So like governed by self, which is the 666 symbol. The 666 is just a number of man. Any act for self is 666. So I've seen that pushing it. They're trying to usher in the new eon, trying to get rid of the Christian era. I think that was that probably started that in 1913 with the Book of the Law, and kill off that, and then start the new eon of Horus. And it's very interesting to me because I don't know. So before the Eon of Horus, there was the Eon of Osiris, and before that, the Eon of Isis. Eon of Isis was matriarchal worship, and then the Eon of Osiris was the worshipping of or male domination, and which was sort of still in that. Now we're going into the Eon of Horus, which is the child. So it's child energy, child heart. That's what the Eon. So I was thinking about it myself the other day. What's wrong with that? What's wrong? It's like cycles are cycles. We're cycling through we're always cycling through. It's cyclical is how it works here. So why is it that the other two eons were all right, and this new one is so particularly bad?
The Christianity was started by the Roman Empire,
Mm-hmm.
and now we still have the Roman Empire under
Sure.
different
Yes.
names,
Yeah.
like Vatican, United States.
Yes. Well,
So they want to exchange it for a different religion.
they want. I mean, they want a one world, a whole one world system set up, right?
Uh-huh.
One world religion, one world government, one world army.
Money.
That was a gold bug.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, exactly. Want a whole system, a centralized system, which would be more, would be more efficient.
Next right.
Depopulation, and then a centralized system. But they want an androgynous people. They want an androgynous because they want to be able to have both, so that they can have both in one body. They want to have that. That's why they're pushing the feminization of man, the emasculation of women. Why is it that the other two eons were all right, and this new one is so particularly bad?
The Christianity was started by the Roman Empire,
Mm-hmm.
and now we still have the Roman Empire under
Sure.
different
Yes.
names,
Yeah.
like Vatican, United States.
Yes.
So they want to exchange it for a different religion.
Okay. They want. I mean, they want a one world, a whole one world system set up, right?
Uh-huh.
One world religion, one world government, one world army.
Money.
That was a gold bug.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, exactly. A whole system, a centralized system, which would be more, would be more efficient.
Next right.
Depopulation, and then a centralized system. But they want an androgynous people. They want an androgynous because they want to be able to have both, so that they can have both in one body. They want to have that. That's why they're pushing the feminization of man, the emasculation of women, and the Bruce Jenner thing is all predictive programming and conditioning, and showing you that look what we can do.
Mm-hmm. So the child in the morning can wake up and decide, I don't want to be a boy anymore, I want to be a girl.
I know. Right. This is a lot of MK though. These are mind control.
Mm-hmm.
These kids have been mind controlled to do that.
Kids and also societies.
Sure.
Like
Yeah.
in Alaska, it
Mhm.
happens.
In Alaska?
Yeah, I heard that.
Really?
In the schools, it is pushed so much that the school director cannot say anything against if the boy says, I'm a girl.
Really?
I'm not for sure, but some of
That's very
yeah.
fascinating.
Okay, for the wrap up, maybe something more positive, because there were some negative.
Yeah. Well, the positive thing about all of this is that it is coming to an end, and it is coming to an end, and this consciousness is getting to a position where it has to give up. It has to give up. It doesn't have a choice anymore.
It's low.
Because because the vibration of the planet here is raising so fast that it's going to hold on as long as it can, because to give up the power that it's had for so long. And remember, this war, and I've said it before, is between the priests and the scientists.
Mm-hmm.
This is an ongoing war between the priest faction and the scientists. The scientists worship the self and the internal, and the priests worship the spiritual God, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the war that's going on. Even the massive atheism movement, which is tied up with a bow, which really is Satanism. Really, there's lots and lots of parallels. They're dressing up these new sort of named philosophies, which are basically modern Satanism. Anyway, the vibration of this planet is rising very, very fast, very quickly, and as it does, there's going to be a period of chaos, because there has to be. As it raises, we're going to start seeing things for what they really look like, and they don't look like this. So, for some people, the majority of people, it's going to be a bit of panic for a minute there. But I think there are people here put in place, sleeper agents as well, to know what to do at the exact time. I believe I programmed myself a long time ago to know where to be and what to do at a certain time. I trust my intuition very, very well, and I know I'm being guided and helped out all the time. All the time.
And we can see they are panicking.
Yeah.
Like the amount of chemtrails and amount of
well, there you
propaganda.
go. I mean, that's all fear. That's all fear stuff. It's if they're having to do that more, that means they're frightened, right? They're in a state. They're in a state of fear.
So it's
Massive
very
state
good
of fear.
news.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Actually, the vibration raising is caused by what? By a certain position of the solar system. The solar system in the
It's
galaxy.
the Earth itself waking up, going through sleep cycles. So as the Earth wakes up,
Kali Yuga, Dwapara Yuga.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so as that happens, there's nothing they can do about it. So they're gonna have to run, like get
Run
off
away.
the planet. Literally just do a runner. Run away is the only choice they got.
So they can come back after.
We're gonna face them again on another battlefield, okay, and another time in another place. They're not gonna disappear. Okay, these guys don't just disappear. But I believe we're gonna have a massive reign of peace, and there will be paradise here for a very, very, very long time. But they're not gone. They don't. Energy is not created or destroyed, is it? It just transmutes or shifts to another thing.
But is it possible that out of the panic they would do some suicide? Is it possible?
You mean them kill themselves?
And everyone else?
They can't do that. You can't just do that. You can't just kill everybody.
Using nuclear weapons?
No, it wouldn't be allowed. It wouldn't be allowed to do that. There's certain things they just can't do. You know, they've crossed so many lines and broken so many, barriers. Rules. So many rules. Every rule. Every time they make a bargain, they break it. Every single time they make a bargain, they're the ultimate lies and betrayers. The betrayers of the galaxy. They'll say one thing to you, and they pathologically lie. I mean, lies are the easiest thing in the world for them. It's much easier for them to lie and have a false front than it is to tell the truth about anything. Yeah, so that's the way.
That's why maybe they use the symbol of the moon, or they use the moon actually, because the moon reflects the sun.
Yeah.
The real light.
Completely.
We have moon and money, mono eye.
Yeah.
We have mono eye.
Right.
Triangle.
Yes. Moon eye. Yeah. I thought about the other day. I thought about the monkey as well, the moon key. And what does a monkey have to do with the moon? A moon key is an interesting thought. Okay, so the moon is feminine energy, remember? Okay, and the sun is masculine energy. Okay, now if the false reality is being amplified from the moon, which is negative feminine energy, that is what I have been trying to say. I'm saying that at this point, what's controlling this planet is negative feminine energy, trying to emasculate the the strong males on the planet who are here to protect the divine feminine, who need to protect the divine feminine. So it's the false dark female, which is the moon energy, is doing that. So good stuff, right?
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
They break it. Every single time they make a bargain, they're the ultimate liars and betrayers. The betrayers of the galaxy. They'll say one thing to you, and they pathologically lie. I mean, lies are the easiest thing in the world to them. It's much easier for them to lie and have a false front than it is to tell the truth about anything. Yeah, so that's the way.
That's why maybe they use the symbol of the moon, or they use the moon actually, because the moon reflects the sun.
Yeah.
The real light.
Mm-hmm.
The moon is the false light. We have moon angle.
Yes. Moon eye. Yeah. I thought about this the other day. I thought about the monkey as well. The monkey. And what does a monkey have to do with the moon? I don't know. But a monkey is an interesting thought. Okay, so the moon is feminine energy, remember? Okay, and the sun is masculine energy. Okay, now if the false reality is being amplified from the
to generate
So let's get that off.
star, and then within the 7-pointed star, there were 7 rays. So you have 7 and 7, and then around the outside of the 7 and 7, you have like a binding chain around, and then within the 7-pointed star, there were 7 rays. Yes, you have 7 and 7, and then around the outside of the 7, you have like a binding chain, like a chain around it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the crescent moon pierces the chain around it. And there's 4 pierce marks through it. So I'm not sure exactly why there was 4 as well involved. 4 is involved as well.
Mm-hmm. And how do you relate that crop circle with Dallas?
I really don't know. I don't know. the thing I've been thinking about since it happened. I don't know the full answer to that question.
Okay.
I know that Texas is a very central point of the planet. It having an X in the name is very important. X is symbol for, one of the many symbols of the moon. Not too many other states in the United States have the letter X in it either. It is very central. Texas is a very central state, almost like the axis of the United States. So mending the X. All the shooters of the murder were wearing green as well, and all the murderers were police too.
JFK.
No, I'm talking about this President 7/7 killing. Yeah, all the people that were killed were police. Especially with the gun laws being pushed at the moment, trying to pull the guns from the people. So I mean, it's been done for years, obviously in the UK, but now it gives another very good reason in their minds to take away the guns from people. And funnily enough, that's in I'm not exactly sure if I'm right, but 1937. Hitler also took the guns from the people, and that was the next step to then force martial law. Take the guns from the people, then attack and allow martial law to be implemented.
Yeah. Okay. Procedural case. What is that?
The Presidio case. In San Francisco, it's a huge, it's such a huge topic. They found a lot of preschools and a lot of churches and a lot of kindergarten places for young children to play, interconnected with small tunnels, big enough to crawl through, but more child size than adult size.
Yes.
And each one of the tunnels linked one to the other. So, and there was one or two essential areas. This is more. Douglas Dietrich knows the very specific details about that, but I have the feelings connected to it rather than the details.
Okay.
Because of for myself, I'm more of a feeler of what happened than I am a detailed person. I just know what went on there was unbelievably heinous, and it seemingly Presidio was Aquino was completely clean. He has no record of doing anything wrong. He was acquitted on every level of doing anything wrong.
Okay. So explain also who is Michael Aquino.
Yeah. Okay. I'll tell you what. There are plenty more people out there now who know a lot more detail about this gentleman than I do. I just know him from his energy signature. I know him from the astral plane. I know him from seeing him on the astral plane multiple times. He seems to have a disdain for me. He doesn't like me very much. he knows very well who I am. I think there will be at some point a showdown between him and I. I think we'll meet in 3D.
Mm-hmm.
I think we probably have already, but yeah. For some reason, when his name comes up, I get a not a particularly good feeling associated with him.
Okay, so who's he
By
and why is this name? Aquino.
Martelli, and he was perhaps made
He
a tour in the region of the
is
Piedmont, where the Valencians lived.
first letter A, last letter O. So we have alpha to the omega.
Yes.
So we have a controlling. We have a full controlling system. He likes his name to be pronounced A Queen O. This is once again an inversion of sexuality by. I just felt like a surge of positive energy helping me out there when I said that A to the O. So they, whoever they are, want. Okay, so we're looking at the Alpha Draconian Queen, the Draco Prime. They are feminine, negative feminine in nature, anti-male. It couldn't be more anti-male to the point of getting rid of the female gender completely, getting rid of them and placing them within the male and having male create babies.
It's a robotic as well.
Or in artificial way.
They like it if it's done through the male itself, because then it's closer to being an actual Baphomet.
But they do have
They
artificial.
want the new world order to be an actual physical being rather than created in an environment like that. So then it would be a little Baphomet.
Okay, you said Draconis Prime. Draco Prime.
Draco Prime, yeah.
And what is this animal, actually?
Yeah. Anyone can look at pictures. If you put in Baphomet, Baphomet,
Yes.
you have a perfect androgynous creature.
Yes.
That's them.
Okay, so there are more than one of those.
Yes, there's plenty more than one. Yeah, there's many of them.
And he's the chief of them.
Yes. Yeah.
You look like a beast now.
I feel like this part here is almost being like something's going like this to my throat. To my head.
You can hear this?
Heard it.
You heard it?
Yeah, those words.
Okay, so we can say more. What is basso?
It's a tool. It's their tool.
Explain the name.
Well, whatever you saw, you've seen, haven't you?
Yes.
If you've seen it, what was it you saw? Buzz? Buzz, what buzzes? Buzz, bees buzz. Usually think about bees buzzing. The Merovingian symbol is the beehive.
Yes.
Thank you for holding space for me there. I felt that it was easier. It's just another right frame way of explaining what it is they're doing. They like to tell you. They like to tell you as two reasons. One, it's arrogant for them to tell you what they're doing.
Yes.
You know, and two, it's like we're telling you what we're doing, and you're not doing anything about it. So it's like they're laughing at you. They think it's funny that they can go ahead and do what they're doing, and you don't do anything about it. That nobody's doing anything about it. I felt that feeling again. Yeah, so it's seen. Buzz, seen. It's not to do with what is a buzz saw? A buzz saw is like a cut, right? I think.
Yes.
Cut wood with it, don't you?
Yes. You
Yeah.
can cut wood with a saw.
Yeah. Wood. Would you go there?
Probably wood.
Very, very good. So we have seen, Hollywood, saw, seen, saw, Hollywood. That's some very good stuff there.
Okay, and Michael Aquino has a special army.
Yeah. Well, if he was, which he was. I think there's some people who will debate that. He was one of the three generals. They have three at one time. Thank you again for the opportunity for me to speak. I don't get too much of a platform to say these particular things because usually I wouldn't be talking about things like this because it's a very, very fringe and touchy subject. But anyway,
His army are who?
Okay. Now, who are they? They are. I don't think all of them work for him, but I think a large proportion of the 72 Goetian demons are working alongside. Remember, the Goetian demons will all betray each other. Regardless, because that's their nature.
Okay, explain the word Goetian because it's not easy to find this on Google. Goetian, this word.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yes.
Then you caught me off guard because I wouldn't know how to give you a full explanation of that. They are the kings, the dukes, the princes of what some might call quote unquote hell, which is the lower fourth frequency. They give themselves titles, and they work for heinous acts. If you want a profession, if you want a successful profession, you would go immediately to one of these particular Goetian demons, who are, each one is specifically for a
Specific subject.
Yeah. So each one represents a different. One is legal. One would be perhaps to do with fighting and I'm just trying to think. They're all very, very, very specific.
Mm-hmm.
The reason the one law and anything to do with legality came up is because I was looking yesterday, and I was looking up. The name came up. Well, Baal's name at the moment comes up a lot. Baal, B-A-L-E. And I noticed that Cain and Abel. Now, if you look at Abel, and they make out that Cain is the bad one and Abel is the good guy. If you just switch the letters around of the name Abel, you'll get Baal.
Yes.
Right. And I think possibly you might have been tricked with the Cain and Abel story there, and him being Abel being Baal, and it being flipped, and the whole script being flipped around the other way. If you look at the actor who played Batman. Christian Bale. Now, if you look at his name, you have Christian, and then you have Baal.
Yes.
Playing Batman. Batman is Baphomet Man.
Or Batman.
Badman or Baphomet Man.
Mm-hmm.
So there's an interesting wordplay in there. And so, especially with the new movie Batman versus Superman, and it's and then all of a sudden we have Catwoman, who also wears all black, and comes in and tries to kill the savior. Christopher Nolan, the director Christopher Nolan, very, very clever man, and share a lot of information within. Sorry, my throat again is being completely
taken over.
Mm-hmm.
Where is it?
It's like a numbing agent. It's like when you if you have tooth trouble and you put stuff on your teeth to numb it like that, it goes like that. Okay, and my face feels on fire.
Okay, the topic of Canterbury.
Okay, so the word Canterbury, if you take the ER out, Queen Elizabeth the First, and Elizabeth Regina is her actual name, right? That's her. So she's from the Saxe-Coburg-Gotha line, right? Her name is not Windsor. That was a made-up name to sound as English as possible. Windsor sounds very English to that. Windsor. Now, where did it go?
Windsor.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We'll pick up tomorrow.
Elizabeth.
Yeah. Sorry, what did you say?
Elizabeth Windsor.
Yes. Well, I mean, and also, in her name, L Elizabeth. It's
Reptile.
right. Yeah. We talked about last time about how she's a 4,000-year-old, 7,000-year-old multi-bodied. I think she was the first Liz too. I think she was the same woman. I also think that Elizabeth Taylor also is connected deeply to that too. Now, obviously, it's difficult to tie that in because they're both alive at the same time. But yeah, you have to ask me.
Again, Canterbury.
Oh, that's right. Okay, now her name, Elizabeth Regina, right? That's her name. Okay, so Canterbury. If you take the ER out of the word, you have the two words can't bury.
Yes.
So you almost have, it's almost saying immortality.
Yes.
Now, for me, my flip from one category to the other one within a period of time and having no plan whatsoever to even go to that country. And in circumstances, threw me straight there. I stayed there for 4 years. And I
Okay, right. Hello, today we are meeting with Max Peters again for the third time. Hello, Max. We tried to record this interview a few hours ago, but then because we were talking about very uncomfortable stuff for some bad guys, they attacked you and we had kind of removal of your consciousness for some time. You felt bad, but now you are back. Yes. So what did you feel? What happened? Please explain.
What happened? I mean, I think I disassociated, and then
But don't go into that state. Just explain.
and then basically that's what happened, and that I hate that state, and it's something to work on, and that's what happened.
Good. So now we're starting recording this again. So the first topic, let's
I'm
talk
quite
about.
tired, so just letting you know.
Yeah, you are tired. Yeah. Let's talk about the procedural case.
Oh, okay, Presidio. Okay. Like I said, there are others who know a lot more about the details of what happened at Presidio, but what I know was that this was a highly complex, highly complicated, very efficiently done a network system of tiles underneath the ground, put together, small tiles, put together to take children from morning, when there was a period of time in the day, at morning, lunchtime, or at the end of school, or if there was a detention period, they would take them and then kidnap the children, and children would be taken. They would gather specific children up and sexually abuse them, dissociate them and abuse them.
And
This would go on.
where was that?
That particular one was in San Francisco.
San Francisco. Okay, and it was discovered when?
I think mid-70s.
Okay.
Yes. You have to hold this?
Yes, I will hold this. And the attack happened basically because we were talking about Michael Aquino. Who is this guy?
Right, I'm going to pause that. Just, I am in the, there's a website called Fighting Monarch, and some very good independent research. The rights of English people have been destroyed while Freemasons arrange the rape of the kids and by certain people I won't mention here. Right, stream it. There's evidence of 0 to 2 years. The media's been banishing. But there's other stuff I'm going to right now. On the website, there's a lot of links. I won't go into on this platform. See the Masonic numbers 77. Nation shame. You know that there's all these 4 and 7. Public electoral welcome. Right. This is already been and gone. The art of the number in the Freemasonry. Translating art and say symbolism. So, yeah, I won't go into all that right now. That goes back 30 years ago when somebody had came up to Cambridge Street when certain things were happening of a certain nature. Fightingmonarch is .com, and you want to look into Windsor the Boy Prince at Jewish College, Cambridge. So, there were bombs and bomb threats arranged by MI5 NATO under Operation Belado. There's a lot of histories of NATO secret enemies. This YGCHQ at Cheltenham surveyed every move of every individual in England. Links to that on both flags. MI runs the news as they FU with the BBC. It's like the people hypnotized. I'm going to go back to Max in a moment. Free speech in England, free press doesn't exist. There's other things I can't mention here from the website. Children living in poverty is while the rich gets richer. There's a map that shows the percentage. So you've got percentage, let me just go into the graphics. Percentage of children living in poverty. Right, I'm going to the areas. Manchester is 25,000. The area is covered in black. highlight certain parts of Cardiff. There's another area. Let's have a look. Percentages next higher is in dark red. Right, let's have a look at that. You've got Cleveland and red car. Excuse me. Let's go into the chart. Wow. 10%, 15% covers a lot of England. Cornwall. What is the other colours? 5 to 10%. Let's have a look at that. These are when they travel about rich areas, wealthy areas. What was the other colours? Queen Elizabeth owns 1/6 of all land on Earth. Does anybody know that? It goes into, wow, King, it goes in Saudi Arabia. King owns a certain amount of acres. Pope Benedict, the King of Morocco and of Thailand. Queen Elizabeth owns, as I said, she could end world property hunger 10 times over and still have a fortune. Her land alone is worth over 30 trillion. Instead of benefiting the planet, she and her, you know what, instead plot to enslave us with a new world order. Prince Philip, as you know, was a, you know what, like his uncle Lord Mountbatten. I won't go into that. I can't mention certain things here. Click here for the list of members of Parliament convicted of sexual offences. Oh my gosh. A document to download. There's a lot of things I don't cover because I let other people do that. I'm not into that. Certain things. The disposition replacement of the monarchs did not stop with the Warwick and the Kingmaker, who apparently replaced Henry V1 and Edward IV upon the throne. This is a bit of a history. Just look at Henry V Triple 1, who suffered a personality shift from the virtuous man to fat. I won't go in and repeat certain words here. But this individual, how to hypnotize someone into falling in love with you, my gosh. So it's not surprising that this is like a lot of witchcraft. It goes into a lot of biblical history as well. Astronomy. The Illuminati are behind it all. Who are they? The slaves and masons sit in the real chambers of Parliament. Look at the Parliament gained its when Charles I was executed by the religious, certain, you know what, criminals, Oliver Cromwell, another man suffered a, something I can't go into here. There's a lot of really good history. His son Charles II was easy to distract with a series of mistresses. This is really ancient information, really. There's a whole history of darkness and paedophilia. Anna, who built the British Empire, was plagued by lifetime illnesses. As they, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I can't go into right now. I cannot go into. This is about trying to survive. There's a lot of people getting good information out. But my ears, I've got to end the stream. I'll just finish out with Max Spires. Then I'll close everything down. Door stoppers and door locks will not stop these demons getting into my home. They won't stop the radiation onto my eyes. Hot and cold gel bed, cold compress on my eyes and the body. One of these I could do with. I think I might just order one. It's got a strap to it. If you don't know about food rations, let me just have a look at the total, how much I've got already looking to get. These are just small items. You need to look at fire starters, ration packs, bug out bags. There's time to order them in. Right, I'll just go into my just check how long I've been on streaming for. I've got audio evidence of what's going on. There's Unleash of Cern of the Demonic, Book of Revelations. I'm going to read chapter 24. I'm going to do that in audio, but I can find an audio. King James Bible version. Just going to check how many. These are my labs. You know, military abductions are by military black ops. I did not know a lot of things until not that long ago. Okay. So I've stopped screen sharing. Just check to see if it shows the time I've been streaming for. These are demon attacks on my body. I mean, I've headed this as mind attacks, the brain. The brain advancement is a brain chip, Neuralink, digitalization, a lot more. I wish I had better idea. I can't put it into words. The body, the max. I put max because it's short. And also my labs, the demons, the snakes. If you want to look into the shape shifting, how it's done, and how these demons do possess the body, I mean, Max covered a couple of things. He died for what he was getting out. If you want to research about black goo, which I don't cover things like that myself on this platform, but other platforms are out there. Just be aware that the Internet of Things is always going to be monitored. Monitor program is real. I've got to push up. So my head is really hurting. My head is like on fire, not literally, but the radiation is so strong. Before I do that, I just want to see if there is what I think is going on. My alarm's going off. They have things, I won't say what they got outside my bloody door, my block of flats where I live right now, because it plays into their hands. Let me just see what the weather's doing. It's very humid. Yeah. I'm just going to screen share the weather cam before I end the stream. You can go and watch Max Spies this last episode. It's 7 from the weather cam. This isn't. There's a massive great big where in Scotland, live weather cam left hand side. It's not the natural sun, by the way. It's huge. So they're playing with space and time again with CERN in Switzerland. The portal's already been up, they've already been opened. They're just messing about with Earth. And this camera is pixing out a portal and all the planetary nebulae and whatever else you wanna. I'm just gonna check another webcam and then I'm gonna say end the stream. Just be aware about fear. This is what they go on. It's not easy said than done. Just be aware that this is what they do. Right, there's nothing to see much on that one, but there is on the other one. It's Tuesday. So, as you might not be able to see. Right, I'm turning everything off now. Where was I? My history. I think I showed you. No, I could tell that how many hours I've been streaming, but I can tell you that all this network, as well as other things, are being heavily monitored. I'm just going to go into the NOS background of this studio section. Get into the Word of God, the spirituality, the soul catchers. CERN, your concerns, yeah.
It says we are live.
Okay.
One of my drives leaving Knoxville County, man.